So I had my choice of bedroom in the bed and breakfast, and I chose Edwin's room. See? Edwin's room, born 1885. I was born in 1988, so he's got a few years on me. So welcome to Edwin's room, and good morning, everyone. Are you ready to go look for some treasure? I know I am. The sun is shining, and it's time to get digging. I gotta be quiet because I finally got him to stop barking. And I'm just going at a real slow pace and he seems to like it. He's been following me around now. He barked for the first 5 minutes. Hey, buddy. He's a feisty little fella. Let's take you over here, show you where I'm hunting. Unfortunately, I am not finding a whole lot of groundwork and may be detected in the past. Beautiful Victorian era home. There she is. Alrighty, we'll keep looking. Just getting a bunch of mason jar lids and trash and some pull tabs dating back to the 70s and 60s, but I haven't found a single coin in about 45 minutes. The most interesting thing I found was that organ reed. The first good signal right down here, about 5 inches deep in the soft soil by the little creek here, and I got an organ reed. Just a pouch full of trash. But you just never know around these old houses with all the groundwork, and people could have metal detected it in the past. These people have owned it for a while, but obviously not back to when metal detectors were invented and people started doing this as a hobby. So you never know. But there's a little runoff that you can see is kind of overgrown, runs right through and splits the property. On the other side, it's all like fill dirt and moved around. This used to be a medical clinic. They used this as actually a medical clinic for a while, and now it's just back to a residential single-family home. But on this side, most of the ground seems original, except for where they dug up maybe a septic tank, or it's hard to tell. But not finding much, but I'm gonna give it another 15 minutes, and if nothing good comes up, we're gonna try another spot. There's a shot of the awesome old house right there, and apparently, I don't know if it was the original owners, but at some point they had an apple orchard. And it was orchards all through the back there, and that's what they used this building for. But anyway, this is what I found. I did find a coin after the last film. 1973 penny, that's all I could find for coins. Other than that, and that organ reed, mason jar lids, pull tabs, one Sprite bottle cap, and just trash. That's it. So we're gonna move on, see if we can find another place. Not treasure hunting doesn't always go as planned, but hey, you gotta give it a shot. Keep looking. Persistence is the key. Golly, check out this old intersection. This is crazy. All these abandoned places here. This is nuts. Alright. I just want to show you guys that. That is crazy. All these abandoned places right in this corner. Really old street corner right here. I'm looking around, trying to find a place to door knock. Alright, I'm really excited right now. So you know that intersection? Well, as I was panning across there, the corner lot that's not an abandoned house, adjacent to everything I just showed you, is just an amazing property. Let me show you what's across the street here. Check that out. I don't know. It doesn't quite look like a church. That almost looks like it could be like an old dance hall or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, I knocked on the door of this place right here, at which I'll show you in a minute. And I almost left, and then this elderly lady came out, and I talked to her for like a minute or two, and she gave me permission to look around and said the original part of this house was built in 1865, and then it was added on to like maybe around the turn of the century. Okay, I cut off that last clip. I talked to the guy that lives here. He was coming over toward my car when I was filming, so I cut it off. But anyway, this house was built in 1865. It was added on to, he said, around 1905. Amazing old intersection right here. I'll show you this abandoned place. This is the house here that was built in 1865. That one that I showed you over here was an exchange mill. This here was a bank up until the Great Depression, and then it shut down. And then it was a lot of other things since then. Obviously, you can see it was a church for a while. That used to be a bank up until the Great Depression. And obviously that looks like an old church there. Probably from when this was a bank. That was probably a church at the time. Just an amazing old intersection here. He did tell me that they did have some guys here before. I assume he meant metal detecting. And right about here-ish, he said there used to be like a doctor's office or something. I guess that would have been way back in the day on this side of the property in the front. So a lot of stuff going on in this intersection. I just hope that in between all the iron and all the groundwork over the years that there's some stuff left here. So I'm gonna get to looking. Oh, I already dug a few targets so far. I dug a piece of trash in a shell casing, not super old. So I'm gonna keep looking. We'll get at least a few good things, I know that, so stand by. Okay, I dug a few more trash bits and I got the first really solid good coin tone. And I went down here, only about 2 to 3 inches. I'm pretty close to the front, right here. And I flicked it out of the side here and it looks like a penny. Let's see if it's old. And it appears that this one's just a memorial cent. 1976. Alright, well, we're on board with a coin. Now let's get about 100 years older now. Alright, I'm in the backyard now and I got a blasting signal I thought was just going to be steel junk chirping through because I have my sensitivity up high. Check this out. I got a massive token. Aluminum. That thing is enormous. What is that? Long John Silver's. Oh, that is too funny. Oh man. Not quite sure how old that is, but that's pretty cool. Found a 1968 penny back here too. Not a lot of signals, but that was a belter right there.
It looks like I found Billy Bones' doubloon from 1754. Okay, more like 1954 or maybe 1984, but close enough.
I went about 6 inches down below all that gravel right there. Took a few minutes to get out and I found one of the coolest aluminum lids I've ever found before. Let's check out what this says. See if I can block the sunlight there. There we go. Menley and James sample 10 dex methyl SAL dot. Rub in until color disappears. Huh. That's pretty cool. I'll have to look up, see what that is. Must be a little tin or something, because I thought that was the top. I'm not sure. I'll have to open this up. Huh. Alright, well that's interesting. Let's keep looking. After a quick cleanup, this appears to be some sort of iodine solution. You can see it says Iodex. And then rub in until color disappears. That's pretty interesting. Alright, I'm happy now. Really worked for this one. Been here about an hour now. And I thought I was just fishing out some more iron, because on the left side of that hole, I just pulled out this nail, rescanned it, still had a signal. It was ringing up like 95. I thought it was just a bunch of nails that were squeaking through. So I went down into here and I plopped and I heard a clink. And I saw the back of it. It's a standing Liberty quarter. Dude, I think it's an old one. That's definitely an early strike. Oh man, I think that's a 1917. Oh man, I gotta get this in the shade. There we go. I'm pretty sure that is 1917 Type 1. You can see the beaded shield. Unreal. Yep, it's got the stars along the edge. 1917 Type 1. Oh, that is amazing. Right here toward the front, under this big tree. Under the pine straw there. Oh man. I was getting a little bit discouraged because I haven't even found a wheat penny. It's been real slow going. A lot of iron. You can tell they did tear something out here. So that's probably where the doctor's office was, right in this back section over here. A lot of iron. But I can't believe that just came out. Wow. Alrighty. I'll get it cleaned up a bit later. I'm gonna put that in my car. We're gonna keep going. Sweet. Here she goes. Oh wow, that's a beauty. Let's check this out. 1917 Type 1. Got a couple minor scrapes on it, probably from brushing up some rocks when I flicked it out of the hole. The ground was really dry and it was kind of rocky up in that end. But look at that. Got the stars around the rim. Type 1. Still with the date, which is amazing. So this is the type where Miss Liberty is bare-breasted. It was before they put chainmail over her breasts to cover them up, which they did in the latter part of 1917 up until 1930 when they stopped making them. So this design you can only find in 1916 and 1917. And if this was in 1916, in this condition it would be worth several $1,000s. That is an extremely rare coin. But the fact that it still has the date on there makes it more valuable, because you can identify the date of these coins of the Type 1s. Even if the date is worn off, you can identify them as 1916 or 1917. But even if it was a dateless 1917, it's not as desirable and the value would be only a fraction of what it is. So the fact that the date's still on this one is really nice. And also, in 1925 they changed the design of these coins so the date didn't rub off as fast. So to find any Type 1 or Type 2 with a date still on it from 1916 to 1924 is an extremely desirable find. And I'm extremely happy to have this. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how much iron is in this place. I have my disc on 49, but I'm going to bump that down to about, so it doesn't chatter there, about 19. And this is where I just pulled that nail and the standing Liberty quarter out. Turn the volume up a little bit, but you can hear all the chatter, all the iron. And as I walk over here, so much iron in here. You can tell it's been metal detected before. There's not a lot of non-ferrous targets. But who knows, that could just be attributed to groundwork. But I would think I'd find more brass and copper if it hadn't been metal detected before. And the owners that live here, they've lived here, he said 44 years, and I think it's only that one time that they let people metal detect it. So hard to say, but I'm gonna keep looking, especially around this pine tree up here by the front of the house where I found that silver quarter, because maybe there's something else hiding down there. We'll find out. I have been digging the faint nickel signals in hopes that there's some old ones in here, and also if it's been metal detected before, that's one of the easier targets to miss, is nickels and gold. You can see this is all the trash I have so far, and I did get a shotgun head stamp earlier, and a solid nickel signal here. I'm about a yard away, yard and a half probably away from where I dug that standing Liberty quarter, right up by the bushes in their AC unit. And you can see where it popped off right there. It is a nickel. Now, I don't know if it's going to be old or not, but we'll find out in a second. Now it's a Jefferson. Actually doesn't look all that old. 1970 something, so not too old on that one. Other than this, I've got about 5 modern pennies, copper ones, all from like the 70s and early 80s, and that's been it for the coins. I'll keep searching. So it's been a long day, several hours of driving, scouting, hunted 2 different permissions, and I'll tell you what, that standing Liberty quarter really saved the day. It was that one target that really helped turn things around. But hey, I just do this as a hobby and I like getting out anyway, so whether I would have found that or not, you know, I put in the effort and I enjoyed it. Just a little bit tired, the summer humidity beat me down a little bit, but a lot of scattered thunderstorms have been dodging, so the clouds kind of help make it more, or I should say less miserable. I'm just munching on a leftover breakfast sandwich here from this morning and hanging out at the bed and breakfast. If you haven't watched the video, That's separate footage there, metal detecting around the 1879 church parsonage. Haven't really found much here, but I'm going to give it another shot here this evening, and if I find anything, it's going to be on the other video. So, I'm just chilling out, and I'll see you guys later. And a quick recap of what we found today. Definitely a quality over quantity day, and I threw away all the usual trash, but we got ourselves a brass shell casing there, an old rivet. I keep the mason jar inserts when they're whole. I like the pieces of porcelain like that, so I usually keep those. I didn't show on video, I got myself a dart. That's one of the reasons you wear gloves while you're metal detecting. You don't want to get poked with one of them. I got that organ reed, that sample of Iodex, the 1754 doubloon, and modern change. I got a dime and nickel and 7 pennies. That was it for the coins today, apart from the 1917 Type 1 Standing Liberty Quarter. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was a lot of driving, a lot of scouting, but I had a good time and touched down to some dirt and pulled some goodies out. So take care, everyone. Happy treasure hunting.